In Minneapolis, the National Guard moved in as the local police station burned.
It's not two groups that are fighting each other or that are battling for control of this. What this really is there's a lot of people generally who are upset with the way that things are and have been upset with the way that things are. And black people are a part of that. We're not excused from that.
Commissioner Mingus Mapp said some of the violence from the protest has actually been hurting our communities of color.
The police.
Where are you coming from?
The dead officer Anastasio Sakos.
Ain't nobody to stop me.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Anna's Thoughts and Musical Parodies, and I am Anna, your hostess. Today we're going to talk about the indoctrination of the masses by BLM and company and all of the continual trouble that is causing us. But first, I have a couple exciting things to tell you about. I'm really excited because the skateboarding merch that I was talking about for a while is now here. I have this t-shirt design on an eco-friendly t-shirt and one other t-shirt for now, but there's all kinds of stuff that I can do, like hats and phone cases and socks. So if you think that you might want something else with this design on it, just let me know and I will make that just for you. I'm also not currently monetized right now and don't have a regular income at the moment, so any support would be very greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. A brand new perk that I've added to my Patreon account. I shared in a post a little snippet of a song that I sang for the exclusive Patreon content for the month of April. Here is My Immortal from Evanescence. I'm so tired of being here, suppressed by all my childish fears, and I held your hand through all of these years. And look at this response from the Patreon subscriber who got to see it already. This makes me so happy. And I've decided that I'm going to add in for the second tier, which is still under $10 a month. It's only $7.77. If you sign up for that tier, I'm going to start offering an extra video as well that is on any topic of your choosing. As long as it falls under the umbrella of the general stuff that I talk about, like Christianity, politics, current events, social phenomena, singing, skateboarding, that type of stuff. You could pick your specific topic and I'll make a video on that for you. I hope some people will, get on board and have some fun with that. So what originally inspired me to make this video was this drawing honoring George Floyd as a saint, I believe, as if he had gone to heaven, which is unfortunately questionable. And I saw this on the Instagram page of progressive Christian YouTuber Brenda Marie Davies of God is Gray. So this is Brenda, and I think she's beautiful. I'm really not here to hate on her at all because God is love and love is of God. She's one of those people who I almost feel like I know since I've been watching her for a few years now. But upon a quick peruse of her Instagram page, you can see that she is one of those people who we would refer to as a woke feminist, but just not for the females in the womb, apparently. And this is a big part of why I find it strange that she would exalt someone who had abused women in such an honorable way. As I've mentioned a couple times before, I am a domestic abuse survivor, and as most, if not everybody knows, George Floyd was at one point in prison for 5 years for robbing a pregnant woman at gunpoint along with his gang of thugs. And so if his life was one that was a story of redemption, and, after getting out of prison that first time, he, turned his life around and maybe he actually died as a hero, saving somebody else or something like that. If that had been his case, and I saw, this photo of him being honored as a saint, then, maybe that would be okay. Maybe I wouldn't really care about that too much, but that was not the story of George Floyd, unfortunately. He died in police custody due to a fentanyl overdose, which is, I don't know exactly what fentanyl even is, but I know it's hard drugs and it's illegal. And he was also in the middle of committing another crime using counterfeit $20 bill. So I am not one to ever be celebrating somebody's death. I think that's totally wrong, and it's tragic if he did not go to heaven. But when we are celebrating and honoring the life of someone who was abusive to women and was just committing a lot of crimes, why? That shows me that there is some serious indoctrination going on, especially when it's coming from somebody who claims to be a feminist. In order for someone to be a feminist and at the same time be okay with the legal murder of females in the womb, as well as be not only willing, but eager and excited to exalt and honor someone who is well known for having been abusive to women and never turned his life around, there's got to be some kind of indoctrination and brainwashing going on. And just like many other things that are issues in modern society, there is this brainwashing coming from the top down. As you saw at the beginning, Antifa seemed to have issued a death threat against Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler because he's finally trying to do something to put a stop to their terrorism in Portland. But it was way too little too late. He was a pacifist coward for way too long. Still kind of is. He could have had Trump help him take all of these terrorists out of Portland back when Trump was still in office and offered him the help. But he decided to be a pacifist and bow down to the mob who was hurting his people. And Joe Biden, in one of his first campaign speeches or ads, I know I saw an article about it in I believe the New York Times, was actually, praising Antifa for, whatever they were doing. And there was something where I think if you went to JoeBidenForPresident.com, it went to Antifa.com. So yeah, this is a systemic thing, and it's all part of the divide and conquer strategy to tear the United States apart that I've been talking about recently. And so it seems to me that due to the fact that there was way more support than pushback for Antifa terrorizing neighborhoods along with BLM, supposedly in the name of Black Lives Mattering, all of this time, that caused them to feel emboldened enough to make a death threat against the mayor of Portland, where they essentially said that they were mad at Ted Wheeler because he seemed to care more about broken windows than about Black lives. And this was my response to that. People tend to highly value feeling validated and liked and accepted and popular in society. And so since our society is pushing this whole narrative of, Black people are suffering more than anybody else, when in reality they kill each other more than anybody else kills them. And that's the real tragedy that the Democrats don't care about, because if anything, they are the white supremacists, by and large. When that is, what's in vogue in society, that is what I believe leads to people like Brenda calling themselves a feminist, but then putting men who are known for abusing women on a pedestal. But it gets even worse than that. One woman with a podcast seems to have taken the popularity contest way too far and is now in custody for killing a police officer.
A woman is in tears as she's charged with mowing down a police officer while driving drunk.
I'm sorry. What are you sorry for? I'm sorry that I hit him and that he's dead.
It's really hard for many of us to believe that she's actually sorry and that it was unintentional, though, due to her general personality that could be seen on her podcast In her final episode before getting arrested, she said that police pretty much signed up for potential death like in the army and that it's part of their job that someone might try to kill them. She also bragged about carrying a knife and played the F the Police song. And another big red flag that probably showed that she didn't care about what she had done was the fact that she seemed to have tried to run from the cops before she was actually able to be arrested.
She ends the podcast this way.
The police.
The dead officer Anastasio Sakos was directing traffic at an accident scene on the Long Island Expressway when Jessica Bouvet allegedly plowed into him at around 2 a.m. Cops say the woman with her front windshield shattered fled the scene, sending other cops diving out of her way. When they chased her down, they say she threw her car into reverse and rammed a police car before they could take her into custody. 43-year-old Sakos leaves a wife and 2 children.
What do you want to say to the officer's family?
I am just hoping and praying for true justice to be done in this situation and that Jessica won't get off easy or, not even go to prison or something like that due to the fact that she's a black female and that's frowned upon in society and popular circles these days. Similar to what happened with Jussie Smollett or the girls in Washington, D.C. who killed the Uber driver. But that is all for today. Thank you, as always, so much for being here. Since you enjoyed the video enough to make it all the way to the end, please don't forget to click the thumbs up and share with other people who would also be interested. Have a wonderful night, afternoon, morning, evening, whatever time zone you are in. Please check out the links in the description if you would like to support. And a way that you can support me at zero cost to you is just by clicking on some links that I'm going to put in the top comment. Little suggestions for Mother's Day. I get like 2 cents per click. So click away and have a wonderful day. See you next time. Bye.
Showing off.